I got a simple one for you today, and this is something that will probably help us become better players and I would imagine better DMs as well. And that one thing is this: find ways to be a better listener. That's it. Today's vlog is going to focus on this one thing because I really believe, from what I've experienced, from what I've been observing lately, in my opinion, some of the best DMs and the best players are the best listeners. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't contribute. They don't, speak and have fun playing their character. Some of them are very boisterous and lively and exciting and all of that. However, what I've noticed is that when a person in a game is really present, meaning they're really focused in, they're paying attention to the other players, they're paying attention to the information the DM is providing, and they're just generally tuned in and listening to everything at the table, these players seem to contribute the most to the game because A, they tend to remember what's been happening in the scene, and so they're able to better interplay between the other characters and the NPCs or monsters or the environment or what have you, because they have a better awareness of what's happening and what's been laid out for us by the DM. And they also are more quick to respond to questions from the DM, or they're more quick to be able to either joke with or have an interaction with that other player or that NPC, and it's always very meaningful and very engaged because they're present, because they're listening, because they're attentive. They're focused, they're there, they're really there. It's as if they're so clear in imagining the moment, imagining the scene, let's call it, that they're reacting and acting naturally as if they were there. And I feel like that really is founded on, the foundation of that kind of play is from really being a good listener. And it's something I'm really working on, especially when I'm in the DM chair. I notice that when I'm able to sit back, let the players have their moment and just listen to what they want, I'm able to stay more present and keep the flow of the game, I think, more fluid and more exciting and interesting. When I have to read and check and then I'm trying to get ahead of the moment of okay, what's gonna happen next and that kind of stuff, I get scattered and I feel like the momentum gets scattered, and it's probably distracting and confusing sometimes for the players when they're asking me a question and maybe I don't respond right away, or they are trying to find ways to fill in the moments when I'm sort of tied up in the books or the notes and so forth. And sometimes we have to do that. So there are, natural limits to what we can do. I mean, sometimes we literally have to just read out of our notes or refer to a book or something like that. There's only so much we can do. But for sure, as a player, I mean, unless you're literally reading your spells of trying to understand exactly how a spell works so that you can maybe use that on your next go around, I can't, in every other circumstance, the players that are more focused and more attentive and are listening the best, from all the streams I've watched, from all the games I've been in, those are the players that I feel contribute the most. They tend to, sometimes it goes hand in hand with taking notes, not always, but they tend to have a better recall of the things that have happened in the game, names and places and so forth. They tend to be able to more quickly respond, and they tend to just be able to contribute in a more meaningful way because they're so present. So that's the tip for today, is find ways to be more present, and by doing the number one thing I'm suggesting is just be a better listener. Listen to your other players and listen to the DM. And if you are the DM, listen to the players. So I'd love to hear your number one tip for how to be a better player or better DM. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Remember, it's your game. Play your way.